We are doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I sobbed like a baby, especially at the very end. Oh no, maybe I shouldn't say that. Is this a spoiler? I know you shouldn't judge a book by the cover, but sometimes I do. But I made a Why? Why are words so freaking difficult today? Oh my god. I have a list of 11, 12 questions to go through, and all of the questions that I have I took from Amy Still Reads channel. I'm gonna link her down below. But also, if you see me looking down, it's because I have my little notebook with everything written down so I don't miss anything. But that being said, I think we can get started. First question that I have is best book you've read so far in 2026. 2026 has been an amazing reading year for me. I think it's the year that I've given the most 5 stars, but I managed to pick out 4 for this question. The first one being The Summer My Mother Had Green Eyes. How to describe this book? This was very difficult to read at times because it deals heavily with grief, loss, and mental illness. So we follow the relationship between a teenage boy and his mother that he absolutely despises, and he believes that the only redeeming quality about her are her green eyes, hence the title. And we follow him when he's 17 and he has to spend his summer holiday with her in France. And while he's there with her, his perspective on her and their relationship starts to shift. This is one of the best books that I've ever read, not only this year, and I think it's one of those books that I'm gonna go back and reread again and again. We also have When Among Crows by Veronica Roth. This was such a lovely surprise because I didn't know what to expect when I picked it up and how to describe it without spoiling anything. It's urban fantasy that reads like a dark fairy tale, which makes sense because it was inspired by folklore. But I feel like I haven't heard many people talk about this, which, well, is hopefully it's because I'm late to the party, but who knows. And the last 2 books that I'm going to use for this question are both by the same author, Don't Let the Forest In and Hazelton. I finished these books at the beginning of the year and I'm still thinking about them. These are YA botanical horror. The first one, Don't Let the Forest In, also has a little bit of dark academia mixed into, and Hazelton has a murder mystery as well sprinkled in. I'm so jealous of the people who get to read these books for the first time, honestly. Second question that we have is best sequel you've read so far in 2026, and because I cannot choose, I also have multiple answers for this. The first one is a book that I have not finished yet, The Bond That Burns by Briar Bolin. This is the second book in the Bloodwing Academy series. I'm 85% into this, so I'm confident that it's gonna be on the list once I finish it. But I also heard that the plot twist at the end is very good, so that's good because the third book is out in case I need it. And then I have, of course, To Clutch a Razor, the second book to When Among Crows. I think this is the second and final book in the series. I hope not. I hope she decides to write more, but I don't think that's the case. And I also have Caught Stealing and Playing Dirty by C. Ritchie. What are these covers, honestly? Why are we still doing this? Anyways, these are books 2 and 4 in the Late and New series by C. Ritchie. If you're in the mood for a good sports romance, especially MM, these are the books for you. New release that you have not read yet, but you want to. I have a list. I have a few. Anatomy of an Alibi by Ashley Elston. This, I only know it's a thriller, and honestly I don't need to know more than that. Especially with thrillers, I like to go into it not knowing too much or anything at all if I can. And I also have You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. This is the same author who wrote Hazelton and Don't Let the Forest In. But this is psychological thriller. I know we follow a single mom who moves to a new house with her small child, and once they move, the child starts acting weird. That's all I know. We also have The Wild Card by Stephanie Archer. This is book 5 in the Vancouver Storm series. This is sports romance interconnected standalones. So in each book we follow a different guy on the same hockey team. And this fifth one, I know it's the coach, and he is also a single dad. This is such an underrated sports romance series as well. I've only read the third and fourth book, but I've loved them. So I still need to read this one and the first two. But the third and fourth book I gave 5 stars, so I know I'm gonna love this as well. Hopefully. I have high hopes. And then I also have The Wings That Bind. This is the third book in the Bloodwing Academy series. So I'll probably read this once I'm finished with the second book, just because of the plot twist. Well, not only because of the plot twist, because I'm liking the books as well. This is one of the best romantasy out there at the moment. And last but not least, I also have, what's it called? Oh, Bone of My Bone by Joanna Van Veen. This is Peach's sapphic folk horror set in 1635. Honestly, with that I'm sold. We follow 2 women who embark on a journey to reunite the skull of a saint with the rest of her body in order to be granted a wish. If that doesn't sound amazing, I don't know what does. But I believe this is all for new releases that I haven't read yet. I'm pretty sure there are more, but these are the most important for now. Then we have biggest surprise of the year. I have 2 for this. The first one being Woodworm by Laila Martinez. Now this is another book, just like The Summer My Mother Had Been Nice, that I know I'm going to go back and read multiple times. So this is intergenerational horror mixed with female rage, and all takes place in a creepy house. Yeah. And I also have Zone Entry by Maya Kinley. Now this is so cute. This is another college sports romance, but this is low stakes and full of love. So both the MCs are playing on the same hockey team in college, but they are also roommates, and one of them dislikes very much the other until he doesn't. Highly recommend, obviously. Oh, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Now, I feel like I'm not someone who keeps up with new releases that much until I see someone reading a new release and I'm like, I want to read that as well. And I remember that was on my TBR. But I do have 2 that I'm really excited about. The first one being Face Off Point. This is Cambro's U-Book 3 by Maya Kinley. The first one being Zone Entry. And I still have to read the second book, but I have time because the third one comes out in December. So when I'm gonna be in the mood for something cute and fluffy, I'm gonna pick up the second book. And the other one that I have is Scorpion Deep by C.G. Drews. Now, do I know what this is about? No. Am I going to read it? Yes. I feel like I'm going to read anything that this author writes. I don't care the genre, I'm going to read it. Also, the writing, I know is going to be amazing. And it will probably break my heart as well, just like all of her books. Speaking of heartbreak, a book that made you cry. And I have 2 for this as well. Don't Let the Forest In, of course. I sobbed like a baby. Would I read it again? Yes. I will probably read it again. And the second one that I have is Human Act by Han Kang. Now it was very difficult to read for me. It took me a very long time for such a short book, just because I couldn't read more than a few pages at a time because of how heartbreaking it was. A book that made you happy. Zone Entry. I'm gonna use this book again because it's just so freaking cute. And I also have Solo Leveling, Volume 9, 10, and 11. This is weird to say that it made me happy because all these volumes are very stressful. But I loved reading them. Like I had fun reading them, so that made me happy, if that makes sense. The most beautiful book that you've bought or received this year. I feel like I haven't bought that many books this year, which is good because I have a lot of them to read on my physical TBR. But 2 that come to mind are this edition of The Vegetarian by Han Kang. After reading Human Acts, I wanted to read something else by the author, so that's why I bought The Vegetarian. This copy is very, very pretty as well. Like these editions in particular are very pretty. And then I also have Graveyard Shift by Emily Rio. I know this book cover is not for everyone, but I think it's very pretty. Emily Rio has stunning book covers as well. Like I've seen their books in the bookshop all the time, and I always think like, wow, that's such a pretty cover. I know you shouldn't judge a book by the cover, but sometimes I do. I think I only have 2 questions to answer. Those were 11 questions. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Now, I think I'm gonna finish sooner if I say all of them, because I have a lot that I want to read, but I managed to make a smaller list. So I have Wonder Window by Rachel Gillick. This, I have it up there somewhere. You cannot see it probably, but it has been on my TBR for the last, I want to say 1.5 years, and I still have not read it. And I have both books. Why? I don't know. I bought them together and I never read any of them. Oh, I also have Woodworking by Emily S.T. James. I believe this is a debut novel from last year that has to deal with female friendship. That's all I know. I also have Stag Dance by Tori Peters. Now, this cover, let's talk about this cover for a second. Like, it's creepy, but in a pretty way. I like it. Now, I'm not sure if this is a collection of short stories or if it's a novel mixed with some short stories, but I'm gonna find out when I read the book, hopefully soon. Oh, I have The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. I know this is a sapphic romantasy. I have a lot of romantasies on this list. No, actually no. I have like 3 only. What was I saying? Yes, The Isle in the Silver Sea. I know this is a sapphic romantasy where we follow a knight and a witch falling in love. That's all I need to know. Because why would you want to know anything else? And the other romantasy that I have is Alternate by Kiki Tolin. I don't know for sure if this is romantasy, but I know it's MM, where they are enemies fighting on different sides of the war. Also this cover. I know I'm talking a lot about the covers, but I cannot. Like, look at this. It's stunning. Anyways, I'm totally judging the book right now. Like, I feel like this book I'm going to love. And we are already at the end. What books do you need to read? Oh no, that's not the question. What books do you want to reread? Now, I'm not the biggest rereader, but I do like to reread books from time to time. So I have 3 on this list that I would like to get to maybe this year. But hopefully, who knows? Knowing me, it could be not. The first one is The Foxhole Court by Nora Sakavic. Now, like, I've read these books, the first 3 in the series, the original series. I want to say like 10 years ago, and I remember loving them. Also the covers, not me talking about the covers again, but the covers are very pretty, okay? I remember loving them 10 years ago when I read them, and now I want to reread them, so see if I like them just as much. And also because the last few years, the 2 other books that follow different characters that we see in the original series have come out, and I want to read them as well. But first I have to refresh my memory. The second one that I have on the list is Court of Blood and Bindings. Oh my god, what are words! The second one that I have on the list is Court of Blood and Bindings by Lisette Marshall. This is a romantasy that I've read the first 2 books and the prequel, and I gave 5 stars. Like, I remember really loving them when they came out. But when I read them, the rest of the books were not out, and by the time they came out, I just didn't get around to reading them. So I like to reread them again so I can finish the series. Yeah. And third but not least, we have The Penelopiad by Margaret Atwood. Now this, I believe it's the book that I've reread the most. It's a feminist retelling of the Odyssey, told from the point of view of Penelope, of course. And it's been a few years since the last time I've read it, and I think it's time to read it again. But yeah, that being said, that's everything for the mid-year book freak out tag. I know I left out some of the questions from the original tag, but honestly, I just wanted to keep this fun and only talk and recommend the books that I really liked. I'll catch you in my next one. Bye bye.